Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Man Bites Film. My name is Lewis.
I'm William. I am back this week. Sorry I missed you guys for episode 101. But as mentioned, I could not make it. I was feeling very much under the weather. Flu season sucks.
Yes,
And I only catch it about every couple of years. And this year was the 1 year. So I should be good to go for another couple of years. But
hopefully, God willing.
You'll hear a little bit of this. Getting over it. Don't worry, not contagious. So we're good to go.
All right, so this week
he may not be here next week, though.
Yeah, right. This week we're going to be reviewing two female horror films. I tried to scour the internet for a horror film that was based off of a female as well, because William wanted to do... Which movie are you going to do?
I actually picked The Babysitter, which is a brand new movie that came out last month. This is probably going to be the last horror movie I review for the year because I'm trying to get away from, there's other movies out there, there's other categories, which I promise we'll get to, but The Babysitter came out. So they are. A lot of horror movies, and it's one of those, like, you don't have to think much about it, you just start taking bets on who's going to make it, who's not going to make it, is it your usual campy movie, or is it like a psychological, scary movie, but... Like I said, I picked The Babysitter. It came out earlier this year, just a couple months ago. It's on Netflix. It's directed by MCG, which, if you don't know who he is, he directed Terminator Salvation, Charlie's Angels in the 2000 version, and We Are Marshall, which, I don't know about the first two, but We Are Marshall was actually a really good movie, which, if they start streaming, I will review because it is worth the time. But anyway, campy. That's pretty much the one word that comes to mind.
Yes.
Very much in the style of Evil Dead.
Yes.
So, don't expect like psychological or scary. Yeah. It's cut and dry basically. This kid.
I think the closest thing I think of is Idle Hands. It has that fun aspect.
Yes.
It has that high school aspect. It has all that stuff. It has the stoner comedy. It has the...
It's almost like a 90s kind of like campiness, which...
that's what this director does, though. MCG does campy... Like, he goes for each of the genres that he does, and he does sort of like a campiness to each one. He does like a throwback film.
Tell that to Terminator Salvation, because that definitely was...
I liked Terminator Salvation. We've had this argument already before. But yeah, it's not a bad film. It has its moments, it has its points, but it is overall not a bad film. It's just not up there with Terminator 1 or 2.
Nothing's up there with Terminator 1 or 2.
Exactly. So that's where we base our comparison to. But in its own standalone, its own little film, you just look at it as just a film, not as another Terminator film. It's pretty good. It's an enjoyable film. Charlie's Angel, same thing. Charlie's Angel is fun. It's just balls to the walls action. What do you call it? Female protagonist.
Yeah, because the first one was good. So it was a good coming out or coming back to the movie theater, to the main screen, and then the sequel was just. But
We Are Marshall is great.
We Are Marshall was an amazing, based on on a true story, and McConaughey's in it.
Yeah.
I can never remember his name, but he was younger. He now plays Falcon on the Avengers. Was actually one of the survivors in the movie. But I digress, and I apologize. The Babysitter. The Babysitter, basically, it's your coming-of-age nerdy kid that gets bullied. He's the bottom of the barrel, the last one picked in dodgeball and whatnot, and he finds himself in a situation where it's kill or be killed. But the funny part about this is that he never kills anybody.
Yeah.
And that's all I'm going to say, because people die in this movie.
Yeah.
Okay?
The best way possible.
People die in ways which you're going, huh?
Yeah.
Like, what are the odds?
So good.
But it's... Watch it. It's not... It's more one of those, like, there's no really jump scares or anything.
No.
Maybe, like, here and there. But it's more like the visual gore of how the person dies. Like that. But then it's done off camera and that's it. But it's how they die that it's kind of like... really? Like, you start going like, okay, how is this person going to die in this scene? Because this is how the kind of movie is going.
Yeah, it turns like a Final Destination.
It kind of is. It kind of is. Or it's kind of like, oh, it's going to be the tube? It's going to be the cord?
Yeah.
And then you find out it's like option C or D or E, and you're like, okay.
It was so great.
But I mean, like, I enjoyed it a lot more than I thought. I thought it was just going to be like something that I'm going to watch, more like a background noise kind of thing while I'm watching it. But I enjoyed it. There's, it tries to be a little bit on the funny side. There are some really good punchlines.
Oh, hell yeah. Especially with the bully. The bully scene.
Not the bully, but one of my favorite ones was like when he comes to and he's tied to the chair. I'm not giving anything away at this point because this is in the previews. And he's tied to the chair, and he sees the guy without a shirt. He goes, "Why is your shirt off?" And one of the guys goes like, "That's your first question?" I mean, that would be my reaction too. It's like, yeah, that's what you're gonna ask. Like everything that you've seen, but that's what you're gonna ask. But
I like that. I appreciated that because it was a very realistic approach to how a kid would react to a situation like that.
It's like, huh?
Nowadays.
But I enjoyed it. Like I said, it's very reminiscent of like the 90s kind of like coming of age stories with if you're going to call it horror, but it's not really horror. Because to me, horror is something that's like really scary. But a horror genre.
It can't be horror.
It can't be horror.
Can't be horror.
So, not exactly like a family movie, but it's one of those like you have a girlfriend or a boyfriend that doesn't necessarily like horror movies but wants to try something. Give this a shot because it's fun. There's comedy, slapstick comedy at that, but there's comedy, and there's still the aspect of the gore. It's like and you'll have fun with it. I mean, I would probably give it probably like a 7.5, 8 out of it, just because of it's well shot. There's not a lot of plot holes. I mean, every movie has plot holes, but. And it leaves it open for a sequel, which we all know.
Sure.
In Hollywood, or especially with Netflix now, sequels are always the great thing. But check it out. It's called The Babysitter again. It's like an hour, 25 minutes. It's streaming on Netflix, so it's not even like a long movie. Yeah. And coming off of Halloween, and you want that last little scary movie that you haven't seen, I would definitely recommend this one.
I give it probably about a 6.5, 7. I mean, it's not a great film, but it's just enjoyable. It's the same thing as Idle Hands that you're just like, It's just an enjoyable movie to play in the background and have fun when you do look at the screen because it's just ridiculous.
Definitely not one of those movies to go in and try to take it seriously. Because, nope.
So, coming out of Halloween Horror Nights and Halloween, we wanted to pay special tribute to one particular show of Halloween Horror Nights.
Yes. Bill and Ted's. Bill and Ted's Great Adventure was, there was this whole thing about they pulled the plug on it, and just like all shows they go and whatnot, but the movement that has arisen, that has grown from this, it's not like. Well, I mean, like even with Beetlejuice, when Beetlejuice was coming to an end, people were like, trying to sign petitions or save Dueling Dragons or Back to the Future.
I remember I was part of that one.
And every time that we tried, and every time it was like brought down and shut down and whatnot. But I'm not naming names because I don't know if I'm allowed to or not. There are people that work within the company, higher ups, which have mentioned or have given us hints that if you truly want to save this, if you truly want this back, if you are a big fan and you want it, this is the one time, this is the one thing that you want to call in, you want to email, call, customer service, guest services, tweet people, celebrities that have been made fun of by the Bill and Ted show have tweeted. Justin Bieber being one of them, and that he was one of the biggest ones that we used to make fun of. But Justin Bieber, McGregor, the MMA fighter, has tweeted himself. Yes, Bill Esquire himself has tweeted that he says, "Save the show." If you go to SaveBillAndTed.org, it's an entire website. It'll tell you, there's people there chatting. Trust me, the page is alive.
Yeah.
There's people chatting. There's ways that there's links that will tell you who to email, who to express your word. If you don't want to get political because politics are just This you wanna have your word heard. Will it work? We don't know, but we are being made to believe that if there's enough pressure and enough push, maybe not next year, maybe in a few years, we don't know. But
we got to do that push.
Yes, if our voice is out there enough and loud enough as a whole, we may actually be heard, and we may actually have something. Because people are like, oh, well, if they're tearing down, this, the rumor has it they're tearing down Fear Factor for more Potter stuff. That's fine.
Put a stage anywhere.
You can put a stage where TNA is.
Yeah.
And put Bill and Ted in there. It's still on the Universal side. You don't have to open IOA. It's inside. I mean, you may not be able to do pyrotechnics as much, but
who cares?
Who cares?
The good part about the show is the people, the interaction, the way that they interact with the crowd, and the just hilariousness that they bring every year.
The fun of pop culture and the dancing and
death.
And death. Too.
And death. Because that's my favorite character.
But
I dig Bill and Ted, but Death he's the funny part of the whole show.
He was. This year was just like, it was a great way. And if this was the year that Bill and Ted went
out with a bang.
Went back to 1991, they literally went back out with a bang. I got to catch the last show. It was great because at the very end, for the first time ever, instead of just them going back into the cabin, Rufus came out and took him back, which was
nice.
great, and the crowd just went nuts. And that's all we'll say about the final show. If you weren't there, I do apologize, but it was just amazing.
Yeah.
And
oh, dude, I was getting text messages. I was at work that day, and I was getting text messages from noon saying that they were standing in line waiting for the tickets and stuff. I was like, Jesus Christ, are you kidding?
People were there from 8 o'clock in the morning.
All day. I was getting text messages. I'm in line. Are you here? I'm in line. Are you here? I'm in line. Are you here? I'm like, everybody in my office is like, dude, your phone is going off the hook. I just hear every 5 minutes. It was because of Bill and Ted, and it was like, holy crap! I didn't know that there was that much like dedication to go watch a final show of something.
There are people that will go to HHN and get their annual pass just for Bill and Ted's. Like they'll do the Scare Zone, they'll do the houses, but Bill and Ted's is the one thing that they will do. Like that's what they get it for. Kind of like people will get it just for the houses. People will get it just for this.
Oh, I did it just for The Shining.
Loop-de-loop. But yes, SaveBillAndTed.org, hashtag SaveBillAndTed.
We'll put it on.
Go on Twitter. We'll put the links in here.
Yeah.
All you do is just click. We'll help you out if you and I'll even post this on the actual page as well. So
yeah.
If you truly love the show, if you truly want it back, we are being told by people within the company itself.
Have the power.
Speak up.
Yeah.
Speak up, because pretty much by their standards, we took this laying down. They were expecting a huge uproar. They were expecting pretty much almost riots. And to them, it was like, no, this is very quiet. So obviously they accepted it. So, but now that we have been...
It kicked in.
Yeah. Now that we've been given to be like, hey, guys...
This is for real. This is for real, guys.
You can actually speak up.
Yeah.
Do it.
Yeah.
If it works, great. We've shown that our words and that we, our words matter. If we don't, at least we tried, but we can't just sit there and be like,
best effort, man.
Whatever. No. Try. Actually, do or do not. There is no try. Yoda. But we digress. But anyway, going back to our show, I just need to do this one last time to try and just get my way of putting out the word out there. What did you get to see this week?
I saw a French film, and I had heard it being mentioned before, and I was like, alright, what the hell is this? And the way that they allude to it, and the way that the trailer is and everything, you're just kind of like, what the fuck? What the hell is that? It's called Raw, and the whole story revolves around this girl that goes to veterinary school in France, and part of the initiation is that they have to eat a raw liver of an animal. So they feed her that, but it awakens something in her, where she enjoys it so much that she starts eating raw animals. And you see her, she was a vegetarian before. So that's the craziest part. It's that like complete like 180 on her part, and she starts eating like chicken straight out of the what do you call it, the wrapper and everything, and she starts getting like these weird rashes and shit like that, and she literally is fiending for raw meat, and that's what the whole film revolves around.
To you screenwriters out there, drugs are bad, okay? Just saying. Because this is not something that you write when you're sober.
Yeah, yo,
Just
seriously,
Carry on.
this is like a drug-induced coma. That's what it feels like. For the hour and 40 minutes that it runs, it feels like a drug-induced coma.
So it's like watching Pink Floyd's The Wall.
Yes. But
Just with gore.
she literally grows further from eating animals to eating humans. And that's where it gets interesting.
Vive la France.
Only the French could get away with shit like this, let me tell you.
Have you seen some German movies though?
Oh, yeah.
Before you go with French.
Wow.
The Germans are like, hug my beer.
This one, it's an interesting experience. I'll tell you that much. I mean, it's not something that it's a great film. I give it probably a 6 out of 10, but it's a very odd experience, and it's something that you should experience because it is so well done, and the way that the character develops is well done. The film itself is kind of but there's some real like tension scenes, and you're really feeling like, damn, she's really craving that thing, and she's a really good actress, let me tell you. So I want to bring something interesting, something different to our review, and Raw is definitely something out there.
Succeeded in doing that. It's a good thing they haven't eaten yet.
Yeah.
Actually, it's a bad thing I haven't eaten yet.
Yeah. Oh, dude, there's some scenes that are rough.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. It has piqued my curiosity to where I may go and see it a little bit. I haven't had a chance. Like I said, I have been out, and I could barely stay awake for more than 20 minutes at a time.
Yeah.
But I may come back real quick and give my quick review, or my quick out of 10, because I'm gonna withhold it at this point.
Yeah.
And come back to it maybe next episode or a couple of episodes from now.
But Raw, it's an experience. It definitely is.
It sounds like it. It's a good thing it wasn't 3D or VR.
Jeez, I can only imagine that.
Yep.
But I mean, the film doesn't kick off until about an hour into it, where you really start seeing it. So it's those 40 minutes that are just like gross out at that point. But I mean, if you have a strong stomach and you could stomach something like that, then it's something that you could really experience and really enjoy as a film and enjoy as an experience, really, and see this craziness of a world that they created in this. But if you're you have a weak stomach and you don't have a strong stomach for stuff like that, do not watch this.
As long as there's no puke or scat, then I should be okay. I mean, like in the movies, I'm okay. I'm talking about like real life.
Oh yeah. No.
It doesn't sound like something that you want to watch around the family dinner with little Johnny going, "Mommy, where's the cat?" I'm like, no, get away from the cat. Not after watching that movie.
The cat is there. Where do you think we got the turkey from? That's not turkey.
Oh. Happy Thanksgiving, people.
Yep, that's right. Right out of the cusp of Halloween, we got to go with that.
Can't wait to see what we're doing for Christmas.
So, anyways, guys, those are the two films. William, what was the name of your film again?
The Babysitter.
All right, and that one's streaming on Netflix. Mine is Raw, and that one is also streaming on Netflix. So, again, my name is Lewis.
I'm William.
And we'll see you guys next week for another episode of Man Bites Film.
Go Beats.